All right, everyone. Bernie Sanders has a dire warning for the Democratic Party that it is failing. Yeah, no shit. If you look at the Democratic Party, what do you notice? Do they have a standard bearer, or do they have a handful of half-assed oligarchic figures who are trying to prop up the party? They can't do anything right. These sort of special elections are being held. They make basically no gains there. The CNNs and MSNBCs have to chortle about the fact that it was close. You know, they still lost. They still come second place in a two-person race, but they came closer than they did during the midterms or something. So it's some great, great victory. Well, no, it's not. You still lost. Coming close only matters in horseshoes. It doesn't matter within this kind of political race. So who right now is even leading the Democratic Party? Scratch your heads for a moment. Can you name any particularly powerful Democrat that is? Well, we've got Sanders, the Democratic Socialist, which means socialist. He has his own people. We have Elizabeth Warren, the social progressive. She has her people. We have Nancy Pelosi, who's still clinging to the tattered remnants of the power she once had many years ago as a voice. We have Dianne Feinstein, the dedicated guns are bad sort of person. And then we have, you know, the DNC's head, whose name escapes me because nobody cares who he is. He doesn't even talk about anything. Who the hell is leading the Democratic Party? You look at the Republicans. The Republicans were supposed to lose massively in this election. If you believed the media and their polls, you probably believed Clinton will be the president, the Democrats retake the Senate, they at least make moderate gains in the House, and please don't focus on all these gubernatorial and state legislative races that look like they're going to swing red. Oh, we'll do fine there too. Instead, the Democrats get all but wiped out in state legislatures. They get all but wiped out in governor's seats. They do not retake the Senate. They make no significant gains in the House, and they lose the presidency. Their party implodes in on itself. Bernie Sanders goes back to being an independent after briefly invigorating a small proportion of the party because none of his fans like Hillary Clinton or anybody else within the DNC, and some of them aren't even Democrats. Meanwhile, they've got to grapple with a sort of three-way tug of war for power. They've got the Sanders-East-style progressives and left-wingers, the actual left, mostly younger. Some are, you know, older hippies, but mostly younger individuals who want a far-left fiscal policy. They're not so, I mean, they're not fixated on, like, taking guns away and, you know, keeping up the drug war. They're more socially tolerant on that end, but fiscally they're very far left. They want, like, a 90% tax rate or some shit like that. They think that Trump is an evil fascist for lowering taxes. That's basically what that segment of the party is. Then you've got the Clinton neoliberals. And the Clinton neoliberals are pro-corporate. They want the status quo because it was built by neoliberals. That means the occasional proxy war. It means lots of corruption, graft, and money siphoning. It means the big 90s style super-funded campaigns with all the super PACs and corporate donations and bankster elites that are leading them. And, I mean, they showed their model's completely dead at this point. And then, in addition to these two poles, you then have the very, very small dying remnant of, like, the Webite Democrats. The people who more represent the working class. It'd be sort of like a U.S. labor movement of sorts. Now, again, not far left even necessarily fiscally, other than on, you know, workers' rights and unions and environmental law. Otherwise, pretty centrist. Not so, again, like the like the Sanders people, more socially permissive, maybe even a little bit moralistic on the religious side, on maybe abortion or something like that. And that's what you've got in the Democratic Party. Now, the neoliberals control the party. Their person heads the DNC. They've got most of the bigger speakers there. They have to drag out and talk about Obama. Obama makes a speech, gets $400K to talk to Wall Street. And all of a sudden, it's front page news. Now, why is this? Why would even the corporate media regress to worrying about Obama making almost $500,000 off of a bunch of rich people that want to pay to hear him talk about how great proxy wars are? Why would they even talk about that? You know, because my legacy and stuff. It's because everybody else in the Democratic Party is so friggin' boring, there's nothing else to talk about. Clinton disappeared. She'll never run again. She's not going to run for the presidency again. Chelsea Clinton's not going to run for the presidency. If she tried, she'd come in 4th, 5th place probably. It's going to be a wide open field next time. You're going to get some dark horse Democratic candidate probably, another Obama, who probably won't fare as well because if Trump's tax plan is any indicator, jobs are going to come soaring back, the economy is going to start rapidly rising, and pretty soon he'll be making Morning in America again ads a la Ronald Reagan. And it'll work, by the way. He'll crush his opponents even harder than he did last time. That's my new prediction if the economy holds. If the economy holds and we don't get into any major proxy wars, yeah, he'll be another Reagan, speaking in the electoral sense. Again, you don't have to think necessarily he's the greatest president in modern times, but he even speaks a little bit like Reagan, slightly muddled, tendency to crack the occasional sarcasm. It's very Reaganish. And I'm not saying that I don't even particularly like Reagan. I'm just comparing sort of their personalities and their electoral chops. The Democratic Party doesn't even have leadership. The head of the DNC doesn't lead the party. They don't have an up-and-coming, will probably be next presidential candidate style person to lead the party. Nancy Pelosi used to be sort of the leader in spirit. She can't do anything about what's going on. Who exactly do they have to lead them? They would be better off turning to, what's his name there, the very hungry candidate, Kasich. Kasich, who is supposedly he's a Republican, he'd probably be better off with the Democrats at this point. They should make him their next nominee or something. I mean, considering the way that he's been talking, oh, gerrymandering's so terrible. Oh, we need, more severance pay and more, unions and stuff like that. Because he's from the Rust Belt, honestly. They should make him their next nominee. They'd do better than with any of these other people. Talking about, oh, Mark Cuban, he'll run. Yeah. Mark Cuban, who, by the way, gave Trump a B- for his first 100 days. That's actually pretty generous. That says a lot about the fact that Trump is not an evil orange Dorito Hitler or something. If Mark Cuban is giving someone who supposedly is really far to the right a B- for the first 100 days. Meanwhile, Warren goes hard lines, says, oh, he gets an F. Yeah, I would have thought you would have given him an A. I would have thought that after calling you Pocahontas for months, that you would have liked him a lot. See, the Democratic Party doesn't have a leader. They don't have anybody to actually formulate a defense against the Republicans. And if this keeps up during the midterms, it's not going to go well for them. Oh, it'll be a washout. The Republicans will gain more seats in the Senate. They might end up with a supermajority. They might take more governor states, more state legislatures. You know what happens, by the way, if they get just a little bit more power on that level? They can call for any constitutional amendment they want and completely cripple their enemies. I wouldn't suggest it because it could have massive consequences down the road, but they could. And that should have the Democrats freaked out, but the thing is, if you don't have a leader and nobody's excited about your party and you're suffering from malaise that's been lagging on for the last couple of years, how the hell are you supposed to stop it from happening? Apparently, the Democrats, the neoliberals, are so stubborn, they're going to wait until they get all but wiped out and turned into a minor party before they actually reform the way they're doing business. Trump already did that. You don't have to like it. His style of campaign worked, and it translated into a lot of down-ballot support, too. It stopped the Democrats from retaking the Senate. That's all they would have needed, 2 more Senate seats, in order to basically stop anything Trump wants to do. They couldn't even attain that. Despite supposedly, again, Trump being, oh, he's the most unpopular president in history. He's such a miserable failure. He's probably also related to Adolf Hitler. It's not working. The fear-mongering, the Russia stuff isn't working. And yet they keep doing it over and over again, like an orangutan that's too stupid to realize when it presses the button on the left, it gets hit on the head, and just keeps pressing it over and over. Now it's brain dead. It's going to keep pressing it forever, because now it finds it amusing. It's like they like whining so much they don't want to actually win an election. It's almost surreal to see. Bernie Sanders, who's not even a Democrat, and I don't even have to respect him, is probably the only intelligent, sane man left that's actually standing there and has a political position. Otherwise, you have to go to people that aren't even holding office. You have to go like Dennis Kucinich or something to find somebody who's kind of on the left and actually has any brains. These people, they don't seem to realize that the campaign tactics that brought you such heavy hitters as, such wonderful people as Bill Clinton don't work anymore. Hillary tries to replicate her husband's campaign style from the fucking 1990s and wonders why she loses. And all of these others are so awestruck, all they can do is blame Russian hackers. It's like they had a story, Being Liberal parroted this the other day, talking about Michigan. Oh, 500,000 people with improper ID were kept from voting in the state of Michigan. Trump only won it by, what was it, like 100,000 votes. He would have lost Michigan. Well, first, he could have lost Michigan. He still would have won the election. You do understand this, right? Or are you totally stupid and don't know how to do math? Number two, how do you know those people would have voted for Hillary Clinton? Maybe they would have voted for Donald Trump. Maybe he's the one that got screwed. Number three, can I even count on this story being accurate? Maybe a lot of these people wouldn't have been eligible to vote, and that's why they didn't have this ID. It's full of crap. I mean, it's fantasy land that these people are living in. They still think that they can stop Trump by saying he's evil or mean. Well, why don't you give people something else, some proposal to actually back to solidify your party? But you're not doing that. You've made no proposals. You simply sit there and anytime Trump says something, you say, oh, that's evil, or that won't work, or there's something wrong with it. That's not a platform. That's not a going ethos for your party. So the main spirit of your party is the other people are wrong. That's a wonderful strategy. You're going to do so well in the midterms with that. No, you're going to get wiped off the face of the earth. You're not going to have any power at all. You will become a minor party. Sanders is trying to warn you, for all of his faults, for all of his fiscal stupidity and all of his social faults and all of his, blowhard mentality where he just starts shouting shut up at people when they mention Palestine or something like that. For all of those problems, he's trying to help you. And because he's an independent, you're ignoring him and you have hit pieces running against him on places like Salon. Now, this has been the going trend anyway. As soon as the DNC made it clear they weren't going to allow Sanders to win, all these people said, Sanders needs to drop out and back Hillary, and if you don't back her too, you're an evil Nazi who wants to see Trump win. Yeah, again, lovely winning strategy. Alienate millions of people who kind of wanted to vote for your party. Alienate them completely by saying the person that they backed quite virulently is actually, trying to help your opponent. Yeah, that worked. It worked very well, especially in the Rust Belt and in Florida. Wonderful strategy. So yeah, they're a party without a leader. They're a party without a platform. They are the epitome of an out party. The epitome of an out party. Just a little insider joke there. That's about all. Peace out.